this Pos 3 Lycan, it always looks terrifying. So it's we'll have to see what happens here between these two. Overall, though, I do kind of favor Nouns with the draft that they have, but again, there's so much riding on this this game here between these two. I'm sure either team can surprise us.
Yeah, for sure. I always forget that Lycan's universal as well.
Oh, he is too. That's right.
Right? Like, because it feels like he faded off in 7.33, so you just kind of forget. But he is a universal type, which is interesting because he could scale up really well with damage, although, again, that's not a tendency you see with Lycan anyway, with how he builds. I am interested to see what Kasane goes for after the Overlord, Dominator into Overlord, whether or not this universal type affects him. You know, something like Harpoon Lycan sounds pretty sick. Like a running wolf with a hook. That's scary.
That could be cool. That could be very cool. Let's see what happens. Nouns, they're going to try and secure the top bounty runes, and it looks like they'll get away with it, and TSM will do the exact same down at bottom. It's going to be a 2-for-2 start. Very, very even kind of affair. And I believe we are going to be starting off with the mid lane, where you are going to see, of course, Bryle against Gunnar on the Pango versus Ember matchup. Who do you give the advantage to here? Obviously, you had the lane switch up between Gunnar and Yamsun, as Yamsun's going to be playing the Pos 1 Wind Ranger. Do you like the Ember versus the Pango jump?
I think it's rather even. Again, I've seen some Embers kind of pull this one off in certain matchups. I believe that does take maybe more points in Flame Guard or going for the 0-3-2 build, so not having any lockdown to play with. But the Pangolier is still the Pangolier. Once he has Swashbuckle, he's going to be able to trade. Gunners going to play on point to get a big advantage to dodge out. And it's a little bit harder to do that with a longer cooldown on the early levels of the Slight. So I'd say it's even. Gunnar pulls ahead maybe a little bit, but you're not going to see Bryle too far behind for the most part here.
Yeah, it should be just fine. Very even between these two. Those side lanes, like top lane, Ari and Kasane going to be up against Husky and, of course, Yamsun on the Pos 1 Rin Ranger. Not sure if we're going to see many kills happen here, but I think Husky is very vulnerable if Ari does land the combo of Sticky Bomb Blast Off. Like, it's quite easy to take him down as the Pos 5 Lich, and even just kind of throwing the Wolves in there to help out is generally more than enough. Because even Ari's forcing Yamsun away from the laning stage. It's kind of the thing as the Pos 1 Wind Ranger, like, against this Techies, the amount of damage that can be dealt, it seems like Yamsun's being very cautious of it. Like, he's very well aware how fast things can happen if he gets caught out.
It can get rough really fast. I do like playing it safe. You don't have the early stat item set, although you've got Triple Branch and Circlets. Whitemon does get the first blood for dropping onto Moo, and that is a concern down there, right? Like, what are you expecting from your Batrider support? How is he supposed to help your Doom? Tomato still can just run up and right-click down.
He hasn't bothered going for Sticky Napalm either, which is fair enough, because obviously you can purge it off with Fortune's End, so no point in going for that right now. But I do agree with the point. Like, what is the point of this Pos 4 Batrider here is the real question from Lelis. I suppose later on, pretty useful against heroes like the Monkey King, like just being able to lasso him out of the Wukong's command, and even the Pango, of course, being able to lasso him through the Rolling Thunder. But apart from that, like, Lelis is not going to have a very good laning stage, at least in supporting Moo.
Yeah, I don't think you can stop Tomato. This is probably the most free lane across the side lanes. Like, Tomato should just be able to farm up and get his timings. So that is scary. Tomato is also queuing up for the faster Monkey King build-up with the Echo Saber and Orb of Corrosion. So he understands he wants to play pretty fast, play the tempo. Don't take this game too long, because that will allow Nouns to bounce back in. Some aggression onto Yamsun up top, but
Ari, he could turn. I think Ari could turn this, but Kasane trying to find Husky. Ari, he's going to find the kill first. Husky not able to secure. Yamsun has no mana for the power shot, though he could use a Healing Lotus, but it looks like Kasane is going to ensure that he can't even think about lining a power shot up. So Ari going to be just fine to heal up through all this. And I don't think this top lane is going to get any easier for Nouns as time goes on.
No, it doesn't. As the levels go up, Kasane gets tankier, harder to shove out. The nuking damage on Ari builds up. You can kind of stall out the jumps with Frost Shield, but the aggressive openings for Nouns, it doesn't feel like it's really up there. At least you've got the Wraith Band Bracer up for Yamson, so he's a lot more durable. It's going to be harder to try to rip through the Wind Ranger, but it's still not the easiest lane to get a commanding presence. Although, to be fair, Yamson isn't being stopped now in farm, for the most part.
Kasane, a bit of a chase up top lane. He might actually die here. Yamson just needs to land this power shot, and you know what? He doesn't even need it. The right click will be enough. Kasane going down, now taking full advantage of the fact that Ari did leave the lane, and well, the jump happened pretty much as soon as Ari threw a sticky bomb onto the mid lane. I think Gunnar just made the call that the techies was in mid, so they just make the jump in immediately on Kasane and get the job done.
And that's a big win for the side of nouns, TSM. They still have to be cautious, right? Like, you have to respect that damage output. I feel like if you just hold the techies and equalize top, you have to accept that mid's just not the smoothest of times for Brawl. Slight advantage coming out for Gunnar in terms of EXP. Not the worst thing in the world. That does mean your kill threat onto the Embers not really there by 6. You're not going to have that 6 advantage, but Brawl's dishing back his own damage, so you don't mind. Like, it's a nice kill to find on the side of nouns. This does stall out just a little bit, and that helped the Dominator timing for Kasane and allows a bit of a ramp up for Yamson into his what seems to be Maelstrom and Power Tread. So pretty fine all around. Down bot.
I mean, they might just go Tomato. Prime will spring in. Moo's going to be the target, and Ari, he will land the sticky bomb. So Moo really has no way out of this, as Ari does secure the kill. Now looking for a blast off, but is not going to throw it out. Lilith did have the flame break to cancel mid blast off if he needed. Does end up using it now, but Ari won't be in range to land it anyway anymore. So they'll head mid instead, see if they can try to pick off Gunnar. Gunnar is still level 5, so it's perfect timing for this, as Brawl is going to hit the level 6 mark. In comes Whitemon as well with the Fortune Zen. Gunnar, he's going to tank the initial stun. Blast off is going to connect as well, and he is down. The mid Ember to drop. Brawl jumping in as soon as he hits level 6. And TSM with the perfect timing to make that kill happen.
That's exactly what we need to see come out from TSM. They group up, they managed to get some punishment, really good movement out from her supports. Ari going from bot to mid and just finding everything they need. That jump right before the 6 comes out from Gunnar, very susceptible to all of this damage, all of this lockdown. And for the side of now, it's like, it just goes back to the same issues, right? Like, what do you really expect a Lich Batrider support duo to do? Like, this is not a support duo that just sets up fights for you all too well. They can help you in lane. They are very much lane oriented, but not the biggest thing in the world.
Oh, this bottom lane's going terribly here for Moose. Husky now trying to steal a Wisdom Rune. I mean, he is at least going to get it, so they do find both Wisdom Runes on the map. That's a little win for Nouns, but they're just dropping bodies like flies here. It's, I mean, this off lane's just gone terribly for Nouns, and I mean, basically every lane, but maybe the top lane's gone terribly, to be fair to Nouns. Yamson's probably the only one having a decent time.
Yeah, he is. He's the only one up there, and that's worth keeping up with Brawl and Tomato. And he's had a little bit more leeway up top with Kasane being left solo, so not too many kill threats.
This will be a big one. Problem is you do have the Fate's Edict to protect from all this magic damage, so Moo's just doing nothing right now as Tomato. He can just turn. Threatening with the Jingu Mastery proc, it'll force Moo away. Whitemon doing a very good job of just keeping him healed up and alive, and that's always going to be a problem for Nouns' game. Like, as long as Whitemon's alive, there's just going to be so much impact with that Fate's Edict. And of course, later on, the False Promise. There's Gunnar, mid lane. Going to go for a chase onto Ari. Ari looking for a blast off away. Instead, he's going to try for Gunnar, but does miss out. Nevertheless, he will survive, which is pretty much what he wanted anyway.
Yeah, just need some room to breathe. He's got the Remnant back in. Brawl did pop the DD as well. So didn't have the most time for that. Kind of make this play here. And again, like, for Nouns, this slower start in the side lanes is going to hurt them, especially for Moo. He's going to have to sit back and farm. That's going to be in stark contrast to Kasane's timing with the Dominator. Yamson's trying to chase down. Doesn't really do damage with a Howl Up.
Yeah. The Howl plus the Helm of the Iron Will, right? Like, there's just too much armor on this Lycan. The Wind Ranger just did literally no damages. But here we go. Husky gonna go for the gaze out. Blast off is available from Ari, and they will eventually find the killers. Ari does juke the power shot as well. So now Yamsun needs to run, is gonna find himself in danger. The chase continues. Yamsun. Wind Run is available in one. He will pop it. Ari has no way to catch. Oh, the Dominator. Oh, the Dominator. It does come in. Kasane. Beautiful play. It's quick thinking. I thought that Helmet may have been on cooldown, but apparently Kasane had it.
And that's just sick. A little micro coming out there. He gets the vision on the good old Mud Golem, and the Mud Golem ruins Yamsun's day.
This damn song.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. It catches me off guard every single time.
It's a good song. It's very catchy. I mean, who was it that was complaining last time? Was it Tomato that just said, I can't stand Kasane spamming this voice line because it makes me want to sing it every time?
Yeah, it was him. Ari missed the blast off, but
he did.
Gunner melts when that swash comes in.
Yeah, it's
the output right now is high. Yeah, Orb Corrosion. This isn't even the timing with Diffusal. That's when things get really scary. So, 8-1 start for TSM. Now it's just, again, in a really rough spot. Moose isn't quite dominating. Lelis, his presence is minimal at best, just down to a really early Bad Rider priority pick. So, I don't know how much better it gets for now. It says Tomato's just running in.
In mid lane, Doom's gonna be, bottom lane, Doom's gonna be committed. No, just being chased down here. The Doom will amount to absolutely nothing. None of his team were making their way over. So, Ari at the very least does take the kill, forcing Tomato to not be able to pick off the Doom. But I mean, you don't really mind. Like, Tomato's free farming. Now he knows Doom is down, so he's even more free. So far, Nouns have found no way to deal with it.
Yeah, there's just no easy answer for the Monkey King. I think even your core-to-core match of a Monkey King into Wind Ranger is not that easy for a Wind Ranger to feel good about. Like, yes, you can kind of wind run around, you can just run out of Wukongs. At the same time, if Tomato is just in Wukongs, you can't really kill him with Focus Fire even. Like, it's just not going to be enough. They push in bot, Kasane makes his way down here as well. Take it easily. Easier access onto the Wisdom Runes to get aggressive. The smoke from Nouns doesn't amount to much up top, and Gunner.
Yeah, mid lane, Gunner in big trouble. Gonna go for the Remnant away. Ari on the chase now. The Wolf Form being pumped as well. So Kasane gonna rush into the swashbuckle. It ended up landing. So Gunner, he took some damage, ends up going down. They are still just trying to focus down Bryle. The lasso is there. Hold him down, but it's not gonna be enough. Bryle is fine. The power shot won't land either. Oh, that's gonna hurt. Everyone from TSM getting out scot-free. Nouns, I mean, they're gonna try and protect this mid-tier 1 tower, but well, they are gonna get away with it. It doesn't seem like TSM want to try and force the issue any further.
It's really clean coming out from TSM, though. They're playing on edge, they're diving really deep, but they know they're not gonna be punched too hard. Like, that's Lasso and Focus Fire down onto Bryle, but he just doesn't take enough damage. Gets a shield crash off onto two heroes, gets the Howl to cover. Then what are you going to do about it as a Wind Ranger? You just don't do much. At least with a Maelstrom up now, you've got a lot more DPS on that Focus Fire, so these saving plays aren't going to feel as bad, but you still have solutions as long as Whitemon's around. They are kind of clumping around bot. They're trying to stack up this ancient area. That's going to be some good catch-up form for Nouns. But if they lose their mid-tier 1, it becomes really easy to invade those stacks, though. It's a little bit scary to feed that gold away to TSM if they want to play aggressive on that side of the map.
Yeah, certainly so. Nouns trying to defend mid-tier 1 tower once again. They will get the Helm of the Dominator creep. Sane will lose that, but we'll just go get another one. Gunner's still doing a very good job of just protecting the tier 1 for now with the Ember. Thing is, TSM, they are going to smoke up as two. Brawl and Whitemon both popping a smoke together. I'm going to head up towards the north, towards the top lane. Basically running towards Kasane. Yamsun is farming around this area, and they seem to know that he's somewhere around there, just hitting creeps at the moment. So TSM pings out. They are pretty much right on the mark with the ping. They just need to find that initiation, and Brawl does. Diffusal Blade is out. Yamsun does not have Wind Run. In fact, he already popped it. He was just diffused up as Yamsun going to try and hide in the corner, but now he's rooted in place. Yamsun is just gone. Brawl immediately making use of the Diffusal Blade as Gunner. Going to try and take that illusion rune away from Tomato, but he's trying to fight for it. The bottle was there in time, but now Husky revealing himself to Tomato, going to get jumped on. And Brawl will just take the kill. A double kill for the Pangolier right across the map. And Nouns just, they really haven't found a way to fight back yet. It's 13-1.
It's just a different league right now coming out from TSM, and Nouns maybe a little bit from the draft, not being able to do as much. Gunner in danger again.
Yeah, I mean, bottom lane is the big deal right now, I think, is Lilith's going to get caught out. Meanwhile, Tomato is in his Wukong's command. Doom was committed onto the Oracle, but Whitemon's still perfectly fine as now Kasane is going to rush in from the mid lane. They're onto Mu. And Mu, he's really not that tanky on the Doom. He is just set to fall as his team does just kind of abandon him. And they just, I'm not sure what it is, John. It might be a drafting issue here for Nouns, but they look very, very lost in this game one. It might go back to this pos 4 Pat Rider, I'll be honest, because I just haven't felt the impact.
No. It just doesn't have that impact. Like, it just can't make a play without items. And it doesn't dominate the lane because you're up against Oracle. So you're not allowed to really just run up, try to play Napalm. As a support playing with a Flame Break Firefly, it doesn't feel as good, I have to say. Especially with a Doom. Like, unless Mu got some really good control creep early on, then you don't have an angle to really play aggressively on the Batrider there. So it just feels really awkward. In comparison to, say, Ahri. Ahri's presence has definitely been felt on his techies since the laning phase, having all these great rotations out as well. TSM now in a position with all tier 1s gone. They've got a lot of farm to fly out for Tomato, into the Desolator coming up next, the Overlord flying out for Kasane already. So you've got the big Granite creep that you've got everything you could ask for. I like that Kasane is even just going into a Nullifier now to have more presence out here. Would have loved to see a Harpoon just to see if that's viable on a Lycan.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure
fun.
it is. The thing is, I think Nullify just has so much more presence in this game because you just
just take
you're
Wind
against
Run
Wind
away.
Ranger. Yeah,
you just
But
kind of
anyway,
take it out.
I'm pretty sure I've seen Harpoon like it, and it actually is kind of broken. Like it's pretty strong. I think any hero can pick up Harpoon if you're a melee hero, and it just feels really good at the moment.
Yeah, that's true. I think I've seen some crazy people in pubs pick it up on Offlane Ogre Magi, so
Why
it's
not?
up there. Why not?
Why
As they
the
take
hell
the
not,
Roche here as
Jonathan?
well. No, why not as well on the Roche? TSM gets a freebie. Secondary life up for Brawl. 14-1. I mean, coming into this, Mike, we thought this would be the more competitive match, but
We hoped. Jonathan.
This is, for now, it's a bit of a stop. 17 minutes in. And again, this lineup from now, you can catch up with the Doom. It's really the Wind Ranger I start to wonder about catching up, because it just doesn't farm all too well in comparison to a lot of other cores. Yamsun's doing a great job of keeping up, at the least.
Doom again. He's by himself. I'll tell you, Mu has not really had a game either. Maybe a little bit upset at what's happening in this game. Like, he's 0-6-0. Not even one assist on the Doom. To be fair to him, there is only one kill on Nouns. But who even has the kill? It's Yamsun. Yamsun's got the kill. And of course, Husky has the one assist. That's literally it for Nouns. Everyone else is just not having a good time.
No, at the least, Lelis is 0-0-0.
That's
Or
good.
Batrider not feeding at the least, but also not having too much impact.
I mean, the 0 is basically his impact, John. It's just a perfect scoreline right now for the Batrider, I'll tell you. I guess the thing is with the pos 4 Bat, like, you are expecting your team to take off a little bit, and then you follow up and you be that kind of nail in the coffin, but it just hasn't happened. Like, the only lane that went evenly was top lane, at least for Nouns, and that's just not good enough. Not against a team like TSM.
And again, it's just down to draft. Like, having to face up against the Oracle means that you just can't sticky napalm. So you're kind of forced to go for the Firefly Flame Break, but you're still up against an Oracle. You're up against a Monkey King who runs down your Doom. So it's a rough overall for now. It's to find that launching point there. At the least, they've got some room to farm. They're working the map pretty damn well. Lella's farming down bot. Yamson's still taking control up top. They've got good wards to watch for rotations up top as well. Really good defensive vision coming out from nouns. I'm not sure if TSM cares too much that there's some room, because eventually they're all just going to start to collapse. Timato could spot out Lelis, but Firefly is dancing around. It's going to go... No, a bit too late.
Very close. I mean, they still got the bottom tier 2 tower. Like, there's no contest here. Kasane is just casually taking towers now with the helm of the Overlord creep that he has, and yeah, I mean, he's just going to force nouns back to the base. Just come defend your bottom tier 3 tower. At least Gunner will take care of it. Nouns just focused in on taking any objective they can off the map right now. Problem is, they're about to lose their mid tier 2 tower if they're not too careful. Thing is, I just don't think they can actually defend. Like, they can just chip away with Sleight of Fist if they really want, maybe some power shots, but that's about it. Not really too much else you can do here as nouns at the moment. You are an 8k net worth deficit with a Doom on your team, which is not exactly where you want to be. As Brawl's going to jump in now. Gunner being targeted, almost out of mana, is going to be able to walk away. Brawl, though, feeling very confident considering he does have the Aegis up on the Pengali, so he can just make life a living hell, even in the base for nouns. And the TSM, it seems like they want to keep going, but they are going to retreat and maybe play this a little bit more conservatively. Go for the Tormentor instead.
Yeah, it's also around the time for Wisdom Runes to come out. So let's give it a little bit of a wait at the 21-minute mark. Tormentor falls very easily to their lineup. A free shard coming out for Ahri. I'd honestly say you might have actually preferred your Oracle shard with a Reign of Destiny, but you know what? It doesn't matter. Go into the high ground right after that. And the siege again. With this kind of lineup, it doesn't take too long.
It certainly does not. The tier 3 bottom tower just not going to last at all. Sane about to lose the Ancient Black Dragon. Won't lose it yet though. Gunner trying to take care of it, but they do make the jump in. Nice Remnant away. All the stuns going to miss here from TSM. They won't really mind though. They'll just go after the bottom racks instead. They may be forced to back off a little bit earlier than they would like, but they've still got 25 seconds on this Aegis, so it seems like Brawl wants to keep going. And he'll make the call to keep going until they find at least the bottom racks. And Brawl, well, TSM looks like they just want to back off now, but Yamson with a nice Gleipnir gonna hold down Tomato. False Promise gonna be forced out just to ensure Tomato does not go down. Yamson was doing a hell of a lot of damage with that Gleipnir now up. But that's about it. They got the bot racks. There's no reason to stick around any longer. TSM, they'll just TP out for free. Nouns, they are yet to find a secondary kill.
They haven't found a secondary kill. They haven't found any objective. All the tier 1's still relatively healthy here on the side of TSM. You have some key timings met. Mu has his Travel Sock Green. So your Doom is now really just efficient across the map, getting to devour a lot more frequently, getting a lot of presence out, and now you can maybe threaten with lower cooldown Doom, although the Blink also not too far off. So again, you've got some play with Mu now. You've got the BKB almost formed up by Gunner, still the recipe away, and Lelis has the Force Staff into the Guardian Greaves. So you have more items to play with, you have some utility to show. Your map is shrinking, but with a bigger map, there's more leeway for you to slip by the cracks. Although full nullifiers up for Kasane and smoke out for TSM here.
Now things are really tough if you're nouns. TSM just got this huge timing. They're just going to rush towards the north. They know exactly where nouns will be farming. This is honestly like the new triangle on the map here for the Dire side, this top area. So now moving in. Nouns, they'll go for a smoke up. Wolves will see nothing so far from Kasane. Now T2 tower though, it is dropping rather quickly. Nouns looking for the jump in. Gunner's going to show himself. Moo's going to jump in here looking for the Doom, but can't get it off in time.
Oh,
the Wolf
God.
form was out. They just bashed up Moo. He could not move as now Lelis going to go for a lasso, but he's still slowed up. Lelis is gone. Yamsun being targeted. Nullifier out. He's also down. It's 18-1 with a 14k advantage. And I don't think Nouns are going to call it, but it is sure looking close to about that time.
It's looking pretty lost. 18-1. I trying to think of a silver lining, but that was their best opening. That should have been the big Blink Doom reveal. Instead, instantly controlled. Really great play from TSM. Really good read. There might have been a chance that the Wolves scouted out the edge of that smoke, because they were just really ready on TSM, and the Wolves were in a really good spot in the tree line. So they were just prepared. Now it's only having the 1 racks left to fight for. Their high ground is pretty good. Like, we haven't seen Nouns play with their full complement of spells. Like a good Blink Lasso, a good Blink Doom, maybe a good Chain Frost bouncing around to all these heroes. Just none of that coming out yet. If Nouns can execute on that, I can see them taking at least a team fight in the high ground defense and trying to stall the game out. But it's going to be a tough road, uphill climb to come back in here, being 16k behind and 17 kills behind.
Well, here we go. Nouns going to try maybe one last time. They'll see Tomato. Lelis going to jump in. Immediate lasso out. He wants the Monkey King down, but the false promise is going to ensure that Tomato just remains safe. Yamsun is trying to get the damage up through the false promise, but Tomato is still going, still surviving. Yamsun's the one in trouble. Yamsun's down. Buybacks are immediate from Nouns. They want to keep the fight going, but TSM have already kind of split up as Tomato. He's going to go back on Moo. Moo jumped in on his own. Meanwhile, Kasane dealing with Husky. 2 down without buyback. 3 buybacks committed here for Nouns. Man, it's just very split up, very messy from the dire end of things, as Kasane is still just singing to himself in the meantime. He's having a great old time. It's TSM, they'll keep moving in. Yamsun, he got caught by the Boundless. Looks to be okay, but Brawl's just jumping right into the tier 4 towers. It's just too rough of a game, I think. I mean, Nouns, they are going to call it in the end. I thought they might keep playing, but there's just no point. This game is well and truly over. 22-1. 23k net worth lead here for TSM. And my oh my, Jonathan, you and I, we've been, carrying on about how close this matchup should be between the...